So let's start today's class. In the previous class, what we studied, classification of bacteria on the basis of oxygen requirement. And in previous class, we studied about classification of bacteria based on the shape. In our today's class, we are going to discuss again the classification, but this time the basis is the nutrition. How bacteria is taking the nutrition. Okay, on that basis, we are going to divide the bacteria into the two major categories. The first one is called as the autotrophic bacteria. Okay, another one is called as the heterotrophic bacteria. As a humans, which is our mode of taking the food? Autotroph or heterotroph? Which among these two, which one is for us? It's a heterotroph. The word auto denotes it's a self. It's a self. So the bacteria who are going to perform this autotrophic nutrition, they are getting the nutrition by their own effort. They are you can say basically making the food by their own effort. As a plants, they are getting the foods by their own efforts. Means they are basically making their own food, synthesizing their own food. Fine. In the same way, bacteria do perform the autotrophic nutrition. The bacteria who are going to make their food by their own self, that category of bacteria is called as the autotrophic bacteria. And the bacteria who are not going to make the food by themselves, they are dependent on someone, then that category of bacteria is called as the heterotrophic bacteria. Now in the autotrophic bacteria, there is a two mode. One is called as the photoautotrophic bacteria. Photoautotrophic bacteria means bacteria are using the sunlight as an energy source to make their food. Got it? Like in the same way like plant is synthesizing their own food. In which part of the plant there will be a synthesis of food? Yes? Stomata is the one part. Leaf, plant leaf is the main, you can say, kitchen where they are going to make the food. In the same way, and plant also need one pigment. That is called as the chlorophyll. Chlorophylls basically help to absorb the sunlight. And through the sunlight, they are preparing their food, and that is called as the photosynthesis. In the same way, bacteria is also having a pigment, and same way they are performing the photosynthesis. The pigment which is present in the bacteria, they are not called as the chlorophyll, they are called as the bacteriophils. Write it down. The pigment which is present in the bacteria for, you can say, food making purpose, that is called as the bacteriophils. Bacteriochlorophyll. Okay, and the example is here, the rhodospirillum. Example is rhodospirillum. Now, once they get the food, then what they will do? They will perform the respiration. Okay, and through the respiration, if it is a aerobic bacteria, then there is a use of oxygen. Okay, so food is going to break down. Okay, food is going to break down, like it is a glucose first, then it will break down, went in again into the pyruvate cycle, the glycolysis cycle, and from glycolysis cycle there is a Krebs cycle, and then the ETS chain. Electron is finally accepted by the oxygen, and there is a production of ATP. If it is a anaerobic bacteria, then there is no final acceptor is not a oxygen. The another thing which helps the bacteria to get accept the electron basically, and again they underwent the Krebs cycles and electron transport chain and obtain the energy. The main thing is energy wise, the aerobic bacteria are more efficient. Fine, no problem. Example is the rhodospirillum. This rhodospirillums, they are not medically important bacteria since they are not causing any disease in the human, so they are not a medically important bacteria. The another category of autotrophic bacteria is the chemoautotropic. Okay, basically they are utilizing the chemicals and they are synthesizing by themselves only. Because they are synthesizing by themselves, so we consider that bacteria under the autotrophic bacteria. And the example is the nitrobacter. Example is the nitrobacter. This nitrobacter basically changing the nitric oxide into the nitrate. Okay, into the nitrate. These bacteria are ecologically important. They are ecologically important, means basically for, you can say, nitric oxide is a gas. It is a gas, and this gas is called as the greenhouse gas. Okay, these are not a good gas. These are not a good gas. So for changing them into the good gas, this nitrobacter will perform their duty. So this is a useful bacteria. Both nitrobacter is a useful bacteria as well as the rhodospirillum is a useful bacteria. Clear? Where? This is bacteriochlorophylls or bacteriophylls. Fine, no problem. Now coming to the another category called as the heterotrophic bacteria. As the name suggests, hetero, it denotes that they are dependent on someone for food. And under this we have the three classifications. First one is called as the saprophytic bacteria, another one is called as the parasitic bacteria, and the last one is called as the symbiotic bacteria. Coming to the first type, saprophytic bacteria. Saprophytic bacteria means these bacteria depend upon the dead things, the dead decaying things like the leaf, okay, or any human bodies, fine, human body fluids, or any, you can say the human excreta. So those things as a nutrient source is for the saprophytic bacteria. Fine. All the medically important bacteria are the heterotrophs. Getting the point? Because if they are autotrophs and if it went to the human body, it will not survive. No, it will not survive. Since they are the heterotrophs, then they can survive in the human bodies and they are dependent on the human body, so they are called as the heterotrophic bacteria. And first type is the saprophytic bacteria. The saprophytic bacteria characteristics is what? It depends upon the dead decaying matters. Decaying means like जो पदार्थ सड़ गल रहा हो, that पदार्थ, fine, that material. Then we have the another category, and the example is the Bacillus subtilis. Then we have the another category called as the parasitic bacteria. Now, as the name suggests, either they can live inside human body or any other organism body, or they can live on the body. Both inside the body and on the body. Fine. So by there you can say the location, they are called as the endoparasite and exoparasite. Exoparasite means on the body, and endoparasite means inside the body. Getting the points? Okay, fine. Example is your well-known bacteria, the TB bacteria called as the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Fine. There is a you can say one method, as we discussed, binomial nomenclature, how to give the scientific name to the organisms. So sometimes you will come across like Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Mycobacterium may start for capital M and tuberculosis start for the small t. Fine. It's like a name. Sometimes occasionally they are writing as a M only, M dot tuberculosis, E dot coli, E. coli. Okay, fine. That's how the scientific name is written in the books. No problem. Then we have another category of bacteria called as the symbiotic bacteria. Symbiotic bacteria means, see, this bacteria, they will not provide anything to the host. Host you are getting. What is host? Where bacteria will present or live, survive. Fine. So there are many you can say bacteria, and the host is humans. Host is the humans. Parasitic also need a host, but if coming to the symbiotic bacteria, they do need a host. Here they are not giving any help to the host. Okay, they are not giving any help to the host. Saprophytic bacteria also, they are not giving any help to the host, since they are causing only the disease. Fine. But when we comes to the symbiotic bacteria, the symbiotic bacteria, they are helping the host. They are helping the host, means they are living in the host body. Okay, they are living in the host body, since host is a humans, so they are living inside us. Fine. And they are helping us. They are helping us. How? They are getting the nutrition from us, and they are also returning something to us. Just come fast. They are giving something to us, and they are also returning something to us. So this is basically a mutual relationship. This is a mutual relationship. Are you getting my points? Yes. We can take the example of E. coli. Since I said that E. coli is present in your colon, okay, and they are eating your excretory, the fecal material, okay, and they are giving you the vitamin B12. So this is the mutual benefit. I am also getting the benefit, and the bacteria which is present in my body, they are also getting the benefit. So that type of bacteria is called as the symbiotic bacteria. Symbiosis means mutualism. It's a mutual benefit. Fine. So if you want, then you can write it like saprophytic bacteria, the host is not getting any benefit, negative, whereas the the bacteria getting the benefit, positive. In the same way, parasitic bacteria, like host is not getting anything, whereas bacteria is getting the benefit. Talking about the symbiotic, then both are getting the benefit. Fine. Fine. Understood, all of you? Yes. Now, so let's conclude what we studied. We studied basically, as we classify bacteria on the basis of shape, on the basis of oxygen requirement. In the same way, we divided the bacteria on the basis of nutrition, So nutrition wise, bacteria are classified into the two broad categories. The first one is called as the autotrophic bacteria. Another one is called as the heterotrophic bacteria. Fine. As the name suggests, autotrophic means self. So these bacteria are going to synthesize their food by their own self. Fine. So for that, under this, there are two types. One where they are using the light energy, okay, light energy for making the food. So light energy making the food type of bacteria, we call it as a phototropic bacteria. Like the plants. One of the example is written as a is the rhodospirillum. Another is the cyanobacteria. We studied in previous class that cyanobacteria came and they come into the existence. They start releasing the oxygen into the environment. Fine. So cyanobacteria is another example, and since they are the photoautotropic bacteria, they need a pigment. Like plant need the chlorophyll for synthesizing their food, bacteria needs the bacteriophils or bacteriochlorophylls. Got it? No problem. Then there are category of bacteria under the autotrophic bacteria who need the chemical energy. So that category of bacteria is called as the chemoautotrophic bacteria, and the example is the nitrobacter. This nitrobacter as well as the rhodospirillum, they are ecologically important bacteria because they are helping our ecological system to function properly. Now, another category of the bacteria we have is heterotrophic bacteria, and heterotrophic bacteria, they are not synthesizing their food by themselves. They are dependent on someone or something. Fine. So that's why they are called as the heterotrophic bacteria. Under this, we have the three sub-classification. The one is the saprophytic bacteria. Saprophytic bacteria means the bacteria who is dependent for their nutrition on some dead things. Okay, dead or any decaying things. Fine. Example is the Bacillus subtilis. Then the parasitic bacteria who live in or inside the human body. okay, or who live on and inside the human body. They are called as the parasitic bacteria. If the bacteria is living inside the human body, they are called as the endoparasite. They are called as the endoparasite. And the bacteria which living on the human body, they are called as the exoparasite. Fine. Example is your Microbacterium tuberculosis, which is basically causing the TB. Fine. Then we have the symbiotic bacteria. Symbiotic bacteria means both the host as well as the causative agent, both are getting the benefit. And example is the rhizobium. Example is the rhizobium. No problem. The thing which you have to remember is all the medically important bacteria, they are the heterotrophs. They are the heterotrophs. Whereas all the ecologically important bacteria, they are the autotrophs. Fine. And if you're talking about the evolutionary point of view, that who come first in the planet, that is the autotrophic bacteria. Fine. Clear? No problem. Okay. So we will stop today's class here only, and we have the test. So first give the test. Fine. So thank you for having me. Bye. Have a nice day.